You're listening to the Wear Wag Repeat Podcast, the only show 100% dedicated to highlighting women in all areas of the pet industry. Hi, I'm your host, Tori Mystic from Wear Wag Repeat. And today I am excited to bring you a solo episode all about a topic that I have been really in tune with lately and something that I've been noticing in a lot of other petpreneurs as kind of a problem that I think if they fixed this, they could really achieve all of their pet business goals. Do you want to know what these things are? Of course, I'm going to tell you. This is a podcast episode. I'm here to tell you things. Those two things are consistency and accountability. Those are two, kind of fancy words, right? But I think that they're two really overlooked things in our kind of consumer content culture that we live in now. You know, I think that we all get so caught up in creating more, constantly churning out the content. You got to do this, you got to try that, you got to get on this new platform, when really what we need to be doing to succeed is to be consistent and have some kind of built-in accountability to make sure that we actually stick with what we say we're going to do, that we actually are consistent. So that's what today's episode is going to be about. And before I even get into it, of course, I want to mention that if you know immediately right off the bat that you need help with accountability and with consistency, that Wear Wag Repeat Society is here for you. That is my monthly membership program. We have about 60 to 70 women petpreneurs in that group every month. And we consistently every month work on ways to grow our pet businesses online. If you are just getting started, if you are just quitting your day job to pursue your dog dream, or if you've been at it for a while and you're getting a little bit burnt out, Wear Wag Repeat Society would be a great fit for you. A lot of us are solopreneurs. A lot of people in the group, their pet business is either their side gig or it's something that they are just starting to grow. So there's a lot of people in the beginning and kind of like medium phases. I know that there's other memberships out there that are great for people who are making six figures and have teams of 20 or 40 people. Wear Wag Repeat Society is not really that membership. If you're in need of that, please let me know, because I'd be happy to recommend you to those other groups because they're run by close friends of mine. But if you're someone who you feel like you're kind of doing it alone, and you just need some help and you need some people who get you, Wear Wag Repeat Society is just a really special place. I'm so proud of the community that we have created there. And I think that my favorite thing that I hear from people when they talk about this membership, and I recently just got an awesome video testimonial from Caitlin at Sparkles and Sunshine blog, and she was describing the membership and she was describing me, and I'm kind of like the face of the membership, I suppose. And she said, Tori is just like us, and this group is full of women just like me. And that to me is like the ultimate testimonial, because I have always sort of felt like the black sheep, like I didn't really fit in things. And so to have found a group of people who feel like I'm just like them, and that I get to be like the organizer of this group, it's just really, really special to me. I'm actually like getting a little bit choked up thinking about it, because I feel like, as women pursuing dreams in the pet industry, we get overlooked a lot, and our dreams kind of get looked down on sometimes as like that cute little project or that cute little hobby. But we're out here, we're doing it. I mean, this podcast itself is a testament to how many women are doing amazing things in the pet industry. Just last week, I shared episode 275 with a great interview, and I have a fantastic interview for you next week. So there are people out here just like you and I. And if you feel like you need that group and you need some other people who are just like you, maybe you want to join Wear Wag Repeat Society. So I should probably tell you how to do that. The link is wearwagrepeat.com/society. Of course, if you have any questions at all, you can always reach out to me. There is the free Facebook group, which is Wear Wag Repeat Labs. Once you join society, there's a special private members only Facebook group. We also have a members only podcast feed and an archive that goes all the way back to January 2021 with all of our monthly lessons in it. So tons and tons of resources for you there. But let's get into the bulk of today's episode, which the theme is consistency and accountability. So I think we all kind of have an idea of what consistency means. Obviously, it is sticking to a regular schedule. But what I also loved is sticking to a regular quality. I thought that was kind of a really cool thing to point out because, yeah, we can be consistent and maybe you're trying to be consistent with your email newsletters, for example, and you want to send it every Thursday. And every Thursday you do really great, sending a really great high quality personalized email. And then all of a sudden out of the blue, you send something that is just straight like, buy now, offer expires at midnight. And it's like not the same quality as your other emails. Even though you might send it on a consistent schedule, the quality is so different that it's going to impact the performance and it's going to impact how well it does. So that's just something really important to keep in mind. Consistency also really builds trust with not just your audience, but also like the internet gods. So it's really important for us on social media, on our blogs, on our email blasts, on everything that we're putting out there to grow our businesses online, that we're consistent, because all of the algorithms really like that consistency. They like to know that they can expect you to do a certain thing at a certain day every week, and they are usually going to reward you for that. Of course, I think we've all heard at this point in time that kind of old factoid that it takes someone 7 times to see your brand in order to take action or to remember it. I've heard other updated versions of that recently with social media and just like the information overload that we all have, that it's not 7 times, it's something like 400 times. Oh my God, that's a little bit overwhelming to think about. But the point is that you just have to be consistent. Something that I see, and I want to bring this back and give you some concrete examples, because something that I see a lot of times when I talk to business owners is that they're like, oh, my course isn't selling, or my product isn't selling. No one is signing up for my email list. And I say, well, where are you sharing it? How often have you shared it? How often are you telling people about it? And they're like, well, I sent out this one thing. That's not good enough, honey girl. I'm sorry. You're going to have to send it out consistently and constantly and with quality. If you want someone to sign up for whatever it is that you're selling, you need to tell them about it consistently for kind of a little bit of a while and in many different formats as well. So I also recently saw a stat when I was doing research for this about the SEO benefits, and that kind of caught my eye, because you might remember, if you've been listening here for a while, that in June I did a June blogging challenge. And now this was sort of a self-imposed challenge. I wanted to write a blog post every weekday in June. That would have been 22 blog posts. Now, I want to be honest with you, I did not write 22 blog posts. However, I wrote 11 new blog posts, and I'm really proud of that number because it is much more than I had been doing for a long time, because I was getting just caught up in checking emails and doing research and posting on social media and doom scrolling on TikTok, that I wasn't just writing stuff and hitting publish. I was also getting really caught up in perfectionism and just all kinds of procrastination, like doom scrolling on TikTok. And I wasn't publishing blog posts as often as I should have been. So I was really proud of myself that I published 11 new posts in June. And that consistency has had a direct result in just the last 30 days. So what's really interesting to me is although those posts that I published in the last 28 days or 35 days or however long it's been, those particular blog posts might not be getting a lot of traffic already because they're brand new. I might have sent an email blast out with a link to them, so maybe they're getting traffic that way, but it's still very early for them to get any kind of search engine traffic. However, because I was consistently posting on my blog and posting high quality content and making sure that Google was picking up on it, the search engines saw how consistent I was being and they trusted my website more. So overall, the traffic to my blog was up 17% in June compared to May. So in May, I had about 15,000 visits, and in June, I had about 17,000 visits to my blog. And I was blogging a whole lot more, but it's just that consistency made Google and whatever other search engine trust my site way more and send more traffic to me because they saw that I was being active, that I was putting out really good content. So if you need some help to be more consistent, I think a really great way to do that is with a content calendar. I did that for my blogging challenge. I have just a simple spreadsheet where I wrote down all of my ideas and I listed dates. And as I checked each one off, I put a big green check mark emoji next to each one. And it really helped me stick with it. I think outlining how much you want to accomplish or how frequently you want to do something and then kind of working backwards, that works really well for me. A content calendar and then of course scheduling tools are really helpful as well. For me with my blog, I usually hit publish as soon as something is ready. Maybe if some like magic wand hits my head and I get motivated to write a whole bunch of blog posts one day, I will schedule them out. But I usually just hit publish when I'm done because I can't wait to get it out there in the world. But for social media, I definitely use scheduling tools. And on Pinterest, for sure, I use scheduling tools to make sure that I have one fresh pin go out every single day. And that consistency has really been amazingly helpful to my Pinterest traffic, which is also up in the last 30 days. Our focus for June in Wear Wag Repeat Society was Pinterest. So to kind of coincide with my own blogging challenge, I was doing a lot more pinning and my Pinterest traffic was also up. I want to say that was up like 15% as well. It is definitely up, but I feel like I'm getting myself confused now with my different percentages and I didn't write it down. So that's the power and the importance of consistency. Now, the other side of this coin, I think, and they kind of go hand in hand, in my opinion, is accountability. This is really your secret weapon. And I think that as solopreneurs and small business owners, even if you have a small team or someone who works with you, accountability is something that we kind of let slide off the side of the whatever. What's the metaphor I'm going for here, Tori? I don't know. Help me out. If you have a good idea for that metaphor, please message me. But I think accountability is something we often forget to include in our business strategy. You know, again, I said we're always so focused on just churning out more and more content and just that like endless hamster wheel of productivity that sometimes we forget about things like this that are kind of behind the scenes. They're hidden. It's not something that you can actually you can't hold accountability in your hand. But it is something that I think is so important in helping your business grow. So basically, it's to have someone or something that holds you accountable to actually do the actions or the decisions or whatever it is that you have said you were going to do. There was a study that I looked up by the American Society of Training and Development, and they found that people with accountability partners are 65% more likely to complete a task. That is so high. 65% more likely to do stuff than if they didn't have an accountability partner. That's amazing to me. And that is exactly why in my June blogging challenge, I set up an accountability group. So this was just a free, like casual group DM. I went on a pet blogging Facebook group and I said, hey, I have this idea for a challenge. Would anyone else be crazy enough to want to do this as well? And to my shock and disbelief, I think there was like 6 women who said, yeah, I'll do that. I'll be part of that. Great. Sounds good. I'm in. And I was like, wow, you guys are nuts, but I love it because I'm a little nuts. And so we had this wonderful little group DM going, and my kind of vision was that just every day when we finished our blog post, you would just come in there and say done. But what evolved was really just such a wonderful community. And I've gotten to know this small group of women really well in the last 30 or so days because they didn't want to just say done. Everyone wanted to share their links so that we could see what each other was saying. And then I was shocked when a couple days into it, I realized that some of the people in the group were commenting on every single one of my new blog posts that I had shared. And it just reminded me of how much I love the pet blogging community and how supportive this whole industry is of each other. And if you don't feel like you're being supported, just please reach out because, you know, there are so many people out there just like you and just like me who might say, hey, anyone else want to blog every single day for a month? Or anyone want to set a goal to make $10,000 next month? Or whatever it is that your idea is, I know that there is someone out there who would want to hold you accountable. There's people in Wear Wag Repeat Society who would definitely want to be your accountability buddy to help you reach your goals. Because I know that there are people who share the same goals as you. I also found some interesting perspective about how accountability groups can prevent burnout. And I really resonate with that because in this group DM accountability group that I had going for the last month, it was really easy to get burnout because it was an insane goal that I had set. Which is kind of typical for me. But I think having just a group of like-minded people who I could just DM and they could DM all of us as well and just say, hey, I didn't get this one done today, or I'm not feeling it, or it's really nice out. I think I'm going to go sit outside and not do anything for the afternoon. And other people were like, that's a good idea. You should do that. Totally. Take advantage of the nice day. You can come back to blogging tomorrow. Or there would be other people who might say, why don't you finish your blog post before you go outside? You can do this. I believe in you. So just having that kind of sense of community and that group, it really can help you reach your goals. And your goals don't have to be about blogging. They can be about anything. They can be sales or producing any kind of product or content or just maybe something about your mindset. It can be anything that you want. But having some kind of accountability group is really going to help you stick with those consistent plans that you have created for yourself. So I want to just spend the last minute here of this episode. I'm trying to keep my solo episodes on the shorter end because there's no need for me to just talk for 30 minutes to myself, but I find myself doing that more often than not. So I'm trying to keep these solo episodes a little bit shorter. So for the last minute, I just want to tell you about our focus in Wear Wag Repeat Society for the rest of the summer because we are halfway through 2023 now. So for the month of July, our theme is mid-year check-in. And the reason why I'm doing this is because the last 2 years in December, our theme was end of year check-in. And it has been some of the most popular lessons ever in Wear Wag Repeat Society. Everyone loves this system that I've devised. I didn't make this up, but it's just kind of an amalgamation of different systems I've learned from many various different self-development and also business and entrepreneurship people that I've kind of collaged together into a really great way to evaluate what you've been doing and where you want to go from here, and then also breaking it down so that you can actually get to where you want to be. So our mid-year check-in is going to be about reflecting on the goals that you set in January. If you didn't set any, that's okay. We can still look back at what you've accomplished so far this year. And we're going to, if need be, set new goals or kind of readjust and course correct so that we can make sure as a group, we're going to hold you accountable. We're going to be here to support you and make sure that you reach your goals for 2023. And if you are active in the group and if you're in Wear Wag Repeat Society and you're going to be sharing what your goals are, I bet you that I will encourage you to push a little bit harder. So if your goal is to get 100 people on your email list, I might tell you get 200 people on your email list. Or if you want to sign up, 2 new clients, I'm going to say maybe you should get 5 new clients or something like that. I love to just kind of push you to reach a little bit bigger and reach for your dreams. So that's, a nice advantage, I think, of being in Wear Wag Repeat Society is that I'll push you a little bit, but we've got the whole group to support each other and make you feel like you're not doing this all alone, because you're not. We're here for you. So that's July in Society. And then in August, we are going to be talking about your email welcome sequence. So this is something that I think is overlooked by a lot of people. I love email marketing. I've been growing my email list a lot this year. I have over 4,500 people on my email list. And I'd be happy to share with you how I used to have 10,000 and I cut it in more than half, and kind of why I did that and how that's going for me in the last couple of years. But in August, we're going to be focused on welcome sequences. And so those are the first initial few emails that someone gets from you when they sign up for your list. And it's a real great opportunity to initiate someone to you and your brand, to tell them who you are, to remind them that you got a business and you got things they can buy from you, and to also make them feel like they are part of your community. So I'm going to be sharing lots of templates and different things. We might have a guest expert to share her insights with us in August. It's going to be really great. And so everything in Wear Wag Repeat Society is really geared toward helping you grow your business online. We're not doing anything just for the sake of it. We're not like, here, go create, here's a bunch of Instagram post things that you can do or something. These are all things that actually I feel are going to move the needle. And right now, I think that email is super important. I think that SEO is really important. And then I think showing up authentically on social media is very important as well. I am not really as into growing my audience on social media as I am in fostering deeper relationships with my existing audience on social media. So if that piques your interest at all, come join us in Wear Wag Repeat Society. We have multiple calls every month where we can discuss all of these topics and get really in depth. And it's a really cool community. If you want to give it a shot, go to wearwagrepeat.com/society. It is a very, very affordable monthly membership, especially compared to other memberships in the pet industry designed for business owners. Mine is very affordable and it is month to month. So you can join for just July or just August, whatever you'd like, or you can stick around through the rest of the year. And I think you'll really enjoy it a lot. So thank you again for listening to this solo episode of the Wear Wag Repeat podcast. I'm so thankful for having you here. If you haven't yet, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or in Spotify and share this episode with someone who you think would enjoy it.